I will identify with him. You ever wish that you had somebody that would do that for you? You ever wish that in your lonely moments during this season that there would be somebody that would come and put their arm around you and say, I'm with him, I'm with her, I'm staying until the end? Do you wish that there was somebody who knew you and stayed with you and loved you in that way? Do you wish you had someone like that? This verse says you can. This verse says you do. These verses say that this Jesus came to identify with you, and he's going to identify with people to such a degree that he will live on the earth. He will go to the cross. He will die, and behind the cross there will be an empty tomb, so that now he is awaiting in heaven to return and come get us, so that there we will forever identify with him and he with us. He came. He came. So when you sing the songs this Christmas of Emmanuel, that God is with you, you can know that's true no matter how lonely you feel. I can imagine how John's feeling right now, can't you? Like, I don't understand it, but I did it. What's next? He doesn't have to wait very long, does he? Because it says, when Jesus was baptized, immediately he went up from the water, and behold, so here's John here, baptized him. Jesus comes up from the water. Can you imagine what John's thinking now? Behold, the heavens open. And he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and coming to rest on him. And behold, a voice from heaven saying, this is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. As Jesus came and identified with John the Baptist and his forerunner, as Jesus went through the depths of the water to identify with those whom he came to save, when he comes up out of the water, there is a Trinitarian moment with the voice of God the Father saying, he's mine and I'm pleased. It is God the Father identifying with the Messiah at the beginning of his public ministry. The very least we can say about this is, very least, there's a lot more we could say. The very least is, when Jesus came through the waters of baptism, there was glory on the other side. Glory on the other side. And can I tell you something? That's going to be true for you. That's going to be true for you. When we get into difficulties, when we are hurting, when we are lonely, when we are stressed, when we have all these things going on, it's hard to remember that. I knew a guy one time, his favorite book in the Bible was the book of Jeremiah. He loved the Jeremiah. He loved weeping prophets, and he'd talk about all the wonderful things he did and all of the terrible things that happened to him. And it never failed, anytime he was talking about the book of Jeremiah, that every now and then he would come to a point and he'd say, you know what? Sometimes it's God's will not to deliver you from difficulty, but to deliver you through it. And when he delivers you through it, man, there's glory on the other side. In this life and the next. There's glory on the other side in moments of grief where God's sweet presence comforts you. There's moments of glory on the other side of pain in sweet moments of friendship where God's people comfort you. And all of those are but foretaste of the sweet moments of glory that will last for eternity when Jesus himself will comfort you, when you will see your loved ones again, when you will see how it all fit together, and where you will glorify him forever and ever in a place that has no light bulbs, because the glory of God lights up the whole thing. He identifies with his Son so that you and I can remember during this season, hard though it may be, walking with him, there is glory on the other side. And he's worthy to be trusted. And that starts to do something in you. That starts to replace some of those feelings in you. That starts to give you a sense of hope. And when you start to have a sense of hope, you start to bless the world with it. You get this. You get, he is faithful. He is faithful to me. He is faithful to bring good out of this. There's glory on the other side. You become a transformed person. And there's no telling what God may do with that. Not far from here, out in the Claxton community. There's not many of them left now. But there's a group of widows. When I was pastoring out in that community, I really do believe that God hears widows' prayers in a special way. And so one of the first things I wanted to do when I got to that church is I wanted to assemble a team of widows that would pray on a moment's notice. And so in order to encourage that, we would have lunches, just the pastor and the widows. Nobody else was allowed to come. We were going to eat lunch, we were going to fellowship, and we were going to pray. And if you didn't meet one of those two qualifications, you couldn't come. Looking back now, I wish I'd adjusted that a little bit because somebody needed to cook for them besides me. One of those widows, Miss Sue, had her 90th birthday. And we decided our monthly meeting, we were going to throw her a party. And I decided I was going to bake her a cake. And so I baked a cake. And the cake was about that thick on one side and about that thin on the other. And so I just decided to even it out with icing, you know. So one side you got that much icing and one side you got a glob of it. And we're sitting there during the meeting, and Miss Sue was just as joyful, just as happy as she can be. She a little cantankerous, too. She was fussing that morning because earlier in that week, her family took her keys away from her. But they still let her drive with Miss Edna. Miss Edna would come pick her up. Miss Edna was 92, and she was 90, and she just fussed. They took my keys away from me and let me ride around with some 90-year-old woman. Can you believe that? Well, in the stillness of the moment when nobody's paying attention, she pulled me aside and she said, "Shane, let me tell you something. I was in bad shape when my husband passed away." She said, "I'm going to tell you what. Just a short time later, her son passed away. Sorry, lost her husband. A short time later, she lost her son." She said, "I'm going to tell you, when my husband passed away, I was in bad shape, but when I lost my boy, I couldn't get out of bed for days." And she said, one day I was laying in the bed. I don't even know how long I had been laying there. But my front door opened, and I heard some rattling around, and I heard some feet shuffling down the hallway. And she said, I turned over in the bed and looked up, and there was Miss Edna. Miss Edna had her going to town hair on. And she said, "Sue, get up. I got to pick up some medicine. We're going to eat lunch." And you got to imagine here now, I cannot imagine Miss Sue is anything other than vibrant and joyful and feisty. And she's describing to me a time where she's saying, "Leave me alone, Edna. I'm not getting out of this bed." And Edna comes over and throws the cover back, and she says, "You are getting out of this bed, and I'm not leaving till you do. Now get in there and get dressed, and we're going." And she went. And then the next week, Edna came back. And she came back, and she came back, and she came back. And she said, now with tears in her eyes, she came back and she said, Shane, she came back again and again and again and again until I could live again. And Miss Edna could only do that because she knew what it was like. And she knew God would be faithful through it. And she could keep showing up. And there is a whole group at one time. There was a whole group of widows that covered that community that all said, Miss Edna just kept showing up until I could live again. That's why I'm so excited about being here this morning, because you know how much potential to spread hope across McMinn County is in this room of people that just show up over and over and over again. Some of you have coached me in ball. Some of you have taken me to lunch, let me laugh until my side hurts. Some of you have given me wise counsel. Some of you are the reason that I'm able to stand and preach here today. And I'm just telling you, there are thousands of our friends and neighbors here that need that same kind of love that radiates through Christian hope. And so this morning, I'm going to ask you just take a moment, just bow your head, close your eyes for just a moment. In just a moment, I'm going to pray for you. In just a moment, we're going to have a hymn of invitation. I'm going to ask some of the deacons of this church if you'd be ready to pray with somebody if they need it. Some of you are not ready to be Miss Edna because your heart is hurting. You need to come this morning and experience the faithful, identifying love of Jesus through the body of Christ. You need to be prayed for. You need to be loved on until you can live again. And there's some of you this morning, I challenge you this morning. Go through this season different. Go through this season looking who you can give hope to. Looking to how little ways and big ways, small ways, all sorts of ways that you can just let our friends and neighbors know here in McMinn County and beyond. He knows where you are. He's willing to identify with you. He will walk through you all the way until there's glory on the other side. As God is working and moving in this place, will you come? In just a moment after I pray, we're going to stand. Will you come? Maybe you're here today and you know that in your heart of hearts, you've never experienced the love of Jesus for the first time in a real, personal, living way. You can have that friend that's closer than a brother. You can. By trusting him. Whatever the need of your heart is this morning. I've been walking with the Lord for a lot of years. He has never failed. He has never, not for one day, been good. And he's working it all for his glory. Father in heaven, it is a humbling thing to be in this great church surrounded by so many wonderful people who do so many wonderful things. humbling and wonderful thing to be reminded you are with us. Never leave us. You never forsake us. And some here today, Lord, just needed to be reminded of that. Just needed to be reminded. And some needed to be encouraged. And some needed to be challenged.
There is a fountain filled with blood drawn from Emmanuel's veins, and sinners plunged beneath that flood lose all their guilty stains. Lose all their guilty stains. Lose all their guilty stains. And sinners plunged beneath that flood lose all their guilty stains. The dying thief rejoiced to see that fountain in his day. And there may I, the while as he wash all my sins away, wash all my sins away, wash all my sins away. And there may I, the while as he wash all my sins away. Dear dying Lamb, thy precious blood shall never lose its power, till all the ransomed ones of God be saved to sin no more. Be saved to sin no more. Be saved to sin no more. Till all the ransomed ones of God be saved to sin no more.
Shane, for that wonderful message, and thank you, worship team. As you leave, let me leave you with these words of encouragement from Psalm 16. Lord, you alone are my portion and my cup. You make my lot secure. The boundary lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Surely I have a delightful inheritance. I will praise the Lord who counsels me. Even at night, my heart instructs me. I keep my eyes always on the Lord. With him at my right hand, I will not be shaken. Therefore my heart is glad and my tongue rejoices. My body also will rest secure, because you will not abandon me to the realm of the dead, nor will you let your faithful one see decay. You make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. I hope to see you all at Sunday school, and you are dismissed.